guys, so it is summertime, which means tanning, which means barbecuing, which means so many different things, but most of all, it means picking my fruits and veggies. So in today's video, I figured I would share with you how to make some strawberry jam using fresh strawberries from my garden. So let's go spice things up.
Okay, so once again, I am picking strawberries from a strawberry patch, and I'm really excited to make strawberry jam because that's one of my favorite types of jams. So of course the first step is to wash your strawberries, and then you'll also want to de-stem these, so you want to just take the stem off of it. Okay, so after you washed and rinsed out your strawberries, you can put them in a big pan, and it can be however much you're going to actually make. If you have less strawberries, a smaller pan. These are actually, I'll just show you. These look frozen because they are. So every time I got strawberries from my garden, I just put them in the freezer, in a freezer bag, just until I had time to make the jam. And you'll just want to take your strawberries and put them in. And so then obviously it doesn't matter whether they're frozen or not. If they're not frozen, they take less time to make the jam, but if they are frozen, obviously it's the other way. But it doesn't really matter. And you want to make sure you turn your burner on to medium heat. You don't want it boiling over, so you don't want it on a high heat, but you want it hot enough that these reduce down faster. But if you do find that it starts boiling over, you want to turn it down even lower. Okay, so now I'm going to add 2.5 cups of sugar. And the thing about sugar, you can add more or you can add less. If you're vegan or you're trying to be healthy, you can always add raw sugar instead, or even honey. Basically just to sweeten this, and strawberries are pretty sweet, so you don't really have to add a ton of sugar. But if you want it super sweet, you can always add even more sugar. But for this size pan and this mini strawberry, I'm going to add 2.5 cups. Okay, so now I'm going to add lemon juice, and normally I do use fresh lemon juice. I usually just squeeze a lemon, but I kind of used up my lemon in a cocktail called Lemon Drop, but it doesn't really matter. And some people say, oh, then you have to add pectin, and it really doesn't matter. I've been making jam for years and it does not matter. And then you'll just want to start cooking this down. And so like some of these are frozen, so it's going to take me a lot longer, and if yours are not frozen, luckily it won't take you as long. But if you notice that these are whole strawberries, it really doesn't matter if you cut them up ahead of time or not. For me, I'm just going to mash them, so it really doesn't matter. But if you prefer and you want to make more work for yourself, go ahead and cut them up before. I forgot to mention, if you have store-bought strawberries, you will want to add more sugar because they are less sweet in the stores. And obviously these are from my strawberry patch, so they are a lot sweeter. And if you pick them from a farm or something, your strawberries will be a lot sweeter. So you can see a bunch of the liquid. So the sugar kind of draws out the liquid in the strawberries. You see it's pretty red looking. It's kind of cool looking. But you just want to cook this down until the liquid reduces quite a bit, basically until there's kind of really no liquid, because you're making like a jam. If you're making like a syrup or something like that, you know, obviously you can have the liquid, but since you're making jam, you want to cook it until pretty much basically all the liquid is out of here. So don't forget to stir it every so often so it does not bubble over. And you can always turn your burner down lower if you feel that it's kind of uncontrollable. So once your strawberries reduce down and they become soft, let me show you what I'm going to do. You'll then want to use some kind of potato masher. Either this kind or this kind. And then just mash away. And this will make it so there's a few little chunks, but not too crazy, because you want it to be spreadable. So you want to make sure to mash them down. And this is the easiest way unless you just want to cut them originally, but I find this to be way easier because they're nice and soft and you can just mash them down. Alright, that looks pretty good. There's not really any big chunks. And while I am still reducing this down, I'm still cooking it down so it becomes thicker. And while I am doing that, I am going to can mine. So this is my canning pot, but I am right now taking the jars and the lids and I am sterilizing them. So how you sterilize them is you boil them in hot water. You can also sterilize them in the oven if you prefer, but this is how I'm doing it. And then of course you get these supplies, and I'll show you what I do with them later, but this is a magnet, and so you can get the lids out of the water without trying to burn yourself or whatever. This is handy. This can get the jars out really easily, and with this you can put the jam in the jars without them getting all messy. Okay, so the strawberries have reduced down to probably more than half, and if you can tell, they are pretty thick. The consistency is really thick. And now I am ready to put them in my jars to preserve for whenever we want strawberry jam. I'm going to use this tool, put it right in the jar, and then of course use this and just take out some of the preserve, but you'll want to kind of do it over the pan, and just put some in here. And you don't want to fill it all the way full. You want to give it a little bit of room at the top. About right here. Then you want to get a wet paper towel or a damp paper towel and just wash the sides. You can see somehow you always get jam on the side, so you want to make sure there's no jam on the side or on the rims. Just do that to all of them. So that big pan full of strawberries gave me only 4 jars worth. Is it worth it? Oh yeah. Strawberry jam is so good, and for me, getting free strawberries from my backyard, well, that makes it even more worth it for me. Okay, and then just put the lids on, and you can stop right here if you want, and you can store your jam in the fridge and it lasts like 6 months in the fridge, or you can can it like me and it lasts for years. So with me, I'm just going to can it. And that's about all there is to making jam. So to can it, you'll just want to put it in your canning pan. And just make sure the water is completely covering the jars, that the jars are submerged in the water, and you'll want to boil it for 15 minutes. So as soon as the water starts boiling, time it for 15 to 20 minutes to be safe.
Okay, I have a confession. I've already been eating this. It's so good. If you want to know what heaven is like, try the strawberry jam. It is incredible. And if you have any questions, just comment below. Look at this, guys. Happy dance. So good. Bye, guys. See you in the next video.